Hi and welcome back to my channel. Astrobabushka here. I am a Vedic astrologer, and in this video I will be talking about Saturn without rings between March 2025 and November 2025 and what it means for the mundane astrology and the world events. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Stars align and planets glow, mystic secrets will... Since I started Astrobabushka YouTube channel, here are the videos I am most proud about: predicting Trump winning in the election, NATO escalation, prediction back in January 25 when there was no heating contacts at place whatsoever. January 30th, 2025, I published World in 2025 video where I was spot on about world mass protests, possible fight over rare minerals, rise in global conflicts and military engagements, and many other prognoses that came true. Lunar eclipse video, as was predicted, brought severe weather disasters within just 2 days, with many victims in the states where it was the most visible: Kansas, Missouri, Mississippi, and others. I am passionate about mundane astrology above all others, and if you want to stay in the loop of what about to happen in the world, please hit subscribe. It would really help me to keep moving with my channel. The Saturn's ring disappearance has occurred on March 23rd, 2025 at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The rings will gradually come back in November 2025. It's not at all that popular astrological event as Mercury going retrograde. So to understand things better, we must look into the past events. When Saturn rings became invisible in September 2009, it mirrored a symbolic moment where Saturn's usual clarity, structure, and visibility of boundaries temporarily disappeared. In mundane astrology, this suggests shifts in traditional systems, authority, and perceptions of control or limitation, a thinning veil around power structures. 2009 was the year when governments and financial systems worldwide were trying to stabilize after the 2008 economic crash. Confidence in institutions and systems was deeply shaking. Banks were being bailed out, capitalism's flaws were under mass scrutiny, and many started questioning traditional economic models. Saturn's ring invisibility could have brought loss in faith of structure. It brought up necessity to rethinking what is secure, real, or sustainable. In 2009, the world saw the early rise of alternative power channels and of social media as a political tool. Let's remember Twitter during the Iranian Green Movement. Authority began shifting from governments to digital collectives. Movements began to organize online outside of traditional structures. What were the most important events back then? Well, in my view, it is Barack Obama won the Nobel Prize of Peace in October 2009, a moment filled with hope but also controversy, reflecting the symbolic tension between idealism and reality. He was uncomfortable with the word, saying that he did not feel that he deserved to be in the company of so many of the transformative figures who've been honored. Nonetheless, he added that he would accept it as a call to action, noting the growing threat posed by climate change and the responsibility he had for ending a war. But by the time Obama arrived in Oslo to receive the prize 2 months later, he had approved a 30,000 troop surge in Afghanistan, dashing any hopes that the anti-war candidate would reverse the militarism of the Bush administration. By the end of his second term, Guantanamo Bay, the closing of which he had made a cornerstone of his first presidential campaign, remained open. Geir Lundestad, director of Norwegian Nobel Institute, told the AP News agency that the committee hoped the word would strengthen Mr. Obama. Instead, the decision was met with criticism in the US. Many argued he had not had any impact worthy of the award. No Nobel Peace Prize ever elicited more attention than the 2009 prize to Barack Obama, Mr. Ludenstadt writes. Even many of Obama's supporters believed that the prize was a mistake, he says. In that sense, the committee didn't achieve what it had hoped for. Another notable thing, in 2009, China's economic rise began reshaping global structures. It brought shifts in global power dynamics. In 2009, we have witnessed cracks in religious and cultural institutions as well. The Vatican sex abuse scandals were widely reported and gaining global attention in 2009. Trust in spiritual and moral institutions began to break down. And what we see here, Saturn, moral law, tradition, obscured, equal hidden truths, surface, trust dissolves. Next, the Copenhagen Climate Summit in December 2009 revealed just how fractured and powerless global structures were in confronting climate change. There was global disillusionment with leadership on environmental action. What conclusion we can have from it? Saturn, stability, Earth, invisibility ring. Equal recognition that the old systems cannot hold the weight of future challenges. When Saturn rings disappears, so do clear limits, traditional hierarchies, and visible authority. In 2009, we saw cracks in governments, finance, religion, and ideology, all Saturnian domains. Saturn's invisibility in 2009 and compare with its current invisibility in 2025 creates a potent moment of cosmic déjà vu, but with a darker tone. So in 2009, Saturn sign was Virgo, which is analytical, material order, work systems. Now it's in Pisces, which is dissolution, intuition, boundaries, dissolving. In 2009, it was the post-2008 financial crisis, questioning capitalism, rise of digital power. And now it's a post-pandemic world, global fragmentation, AI bloom, and war escalation. In September 2009, old systems losing visibility. Now, with Saturn combust and rings edge on, it is total collapse of control. In 2009, a key symbolic message was rebuilding broken systems, shifting away from rigid models. Now it is letting go of outdated ideologies, dissolving collective illusions and karmic reckoning. What Saturn's ring invisibility means in 2025 for all of us. This isn't just Saturn rings disappearing, it's Saturn combust with Sun earlier this year, conjunct with debilitated Rahu, and sitting on one of the darkest fixed stars, Scheat, known for floods, coups, and also collapses. What predictions we can make here? I would expect resignations, scandals, or mysterious health/power withdrawals, especially in leaders with key placement in Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini. I would expect large-scale misleading narratives, deepfake crisis, or global psychological manipulation. People may turn to AI, pseudo-religions, or conspiracy theories in search for truths. With Saturn and Rahu in 12th sign, expect rising depression, anxiety, and escapism. Watch for coastal zones, island nations, and infrastructure connected to water or chemicals. Global power may shift quietly behind the scenes through covert diplomacy or collapses of treaties and defense structures. Organizations such as NATO, UN, or BRICS could face internal rebellion or restructuring. Could USA leave NATO? Those who have held power through deception or illusion may face a karmic reckoning. This is not just a fall from grace, it's exposure, purification, and reset. How 2025 differs from 2009. In 2009, it was all about realizing structures were fragile. And this year, it's about dissolving what no longer works, whether we're ready for it or not. In 2009, we still believed that we could fix things from the inside. In 2025, many realized that external structure can't replace internal rebuilding. Current celestial events saying there's no patching the old, only clearing space for what comes next. My advice for navigating 2025. Daily routines, clean, healthy food, sleep, and nature are your allies. Question media. Don't react impulsively and avoid getting swept up in mass hysteria. Let go of roles and identities that aren't authentic. Avoid spiritual bypassing or false promises of salvation of some YouTube gurus. And in this part of the video, I will go over the important politic figures and how this astrological event might affect them. And so for Donald Trump, it's all happening in the 8th house. What are the key themes for the 8th house? It's all about that is happening behind closed doors, and Trump may not be in control of it. Rahu adds confusion, illusion, or even sabotage from within. Add here important point parivesha that I discussed in a previous video. This is a classic what was buried now surfaces situation. Past action, especially hidden deals, financial secrets, or misuse of influence and power, could return with a karmic force. Exposure of or betrayal is very possible. Trump may face escalating legal threats, sealed investigations, unsealing, or crisis around backroom financial dealings. Next point of interest is Volodymyr Zelensky. And here it's happening in the 11th house, and support that once seemed firm may erode quietly or flip suddenly. While Saturn rings invisible, it makes it harder for him to detect these days who is loyal for him. Internal sabotage, misinformation, or power struggles behind the scenes are likely. Saturn placement implies his global standing and career may be challenged through a foreign policy misstep or delayed promises or legal/political entanglements with global consequences. Fixed star Scheat brings here the energy of collapse, downfall, or exposure through pressure. If Zelensky has relied on a particular ideology or international narrative, this transit could bring a sharp turning point or loss of control over that message. This transit could bring a period of disillusionment or a need to completely revise his long-term goals. Next point of interest is Macron, Emmanuel Macron. Saturn invisible rings here conjunct with debilitated Rahu in his 3rd house. What symbolizes 3rd house? It's tactical decisions, speech, media presence, national propaganda, short-distance diplomacy, border regions, communications with allies and enemies. It can be also initiative, courage, and how a leader responds to stress and pressure. I see here possible crisis in communication or message control. Macron may lose grip of the narrative, both domestically and abroad. It's likely he will experience possible betrayal from within government or European Union structures due to confusion, ideological split, or personal vendetta. His hidden enemies can gain influence, especially through misinformation or media warfare. The next point of interest is King Charles and the whole situation with the Saturn and its rings and Rahu is happening in his 9th house. And what it can mean for the monarch. It's a national belief systems, tradition, moral authority. And the message here might be that the old structures are being tested under the pressure, and what remains must evolve or it will dissolve. Just to summarize, Saturn conjunct Rahu in King Charles' 9th house creates a spiritual and karmic test of legacy, belief, and public relevance. The Kendra Sambandha to his Yogakaraka Mars shows tension in heirship, succession, and public duty. The links to the Sun and Jupiter points toward health struggles, ideological confusion, and the challenge of maintaining symbolic authority in a time of change. This is not necessarily an abdication transit, but it is a transit of withdrawal, inner reckoning, and karmic accountability that may repair the path for the future transition. So this is it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed. Hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Stars align and planets glow.